Tucked away in a beautiful section of North Attleboro, there was a magical place that served as a refuge for many young girls. Operated by my Nana, Ruth Rind, Camp Shady Pines hosted Girl Scouts of all ages from the town and area communities. The land was special to all those who visited, but even more so to our family. We often gathered to look back at that special place.
As we walk through the camp, although the buildings aren't there physically, we can look and see the image of them in essence of where they were, and we know where the boundaries are. We joke about, oh no, the end of the porch was here.
I know.
It was not there. It's like, we joke about, where.
For decades, Camp Shady Pines hosted thousands of Girl Scouts during the summer months. Ironically, the land was authorized for use as a camp in the dead of winter. Nancy Campbell is the curator of the Falls Fire Barn Museum, the town's historical depository.
And in February of 1941, the Girl Scout committee came and approved the camp, and they were all they could see, they were in the middle of snow, 4 inches of snow, but they approved having the camp. And in June, they started building of the camp.
She knew about the property from her friend Harry and Beatrice Fisher. She spoke to them to get a long-term lease, like $1 a year or something ridiculous like that.
Yeah. When Harry Fisher took over the property and when they actually owned the Girl Scouts, they added 300 trees around the property to have it more of a camp feel to it.
Nana had her camp. The only question was what to call it.
All the girls got together and tried to decide what was best name, and they chose Shady Pines as the name of the camp.
Within 2 years, additional buildings were added with money from cookie sales. Nana's vision was becoming reality.
However she laid it out was perfect, because when you pulled into the camp, on the right-hand side, as you're coming up the hill, there was a place called the Saradera House, and that's where my mother was the nurse of the Saradera House. And then as you drive further on, you would come to the main lodge.
By 1943, they were able to add electricity, and the person in charge at the time of the electric department was Mr. Sherman, and he installed the electricity in the camp.
No summer camp would be complete, however, without a place to cool off on a hot summer day.
At the beginning, they didn't have much of a swimming hole or anything, and swimming was important. So what the Girl Scouts and the Brownies had to do was walk through this path filled with snakes and stuff to go down to this small, shallow stream and to try to learn a little bit to cool off and to learn a little bit about swimming.
She saw an area, said, let's get rid of these trees and relocate the river, reroute the river. It's unthinkable today.
Yeah.
My brother Bill visited the site to show the magnitude of the project.
My grandmother got rid of all the trees in this alleyway here, so to speak, pulled up all the trees, dredged it all out, and all this area on the left, where it's all grown, was absolutely bare. It was like a beach. So there was this tree here, none of that stuff was here 45 years ago. So it looked like an odd, like what the heck is a beach doing here? It was pristine from the water all the way back about 35, 40 feet was absolute sand.
Great leaders for the kids. Made a big impact on the girls of that age group, that 7th to high school age group that needed that. So if without Shady Pines, they wouldn't have had it. There was no other place.
Hundreds of girls that she was able to influence went on to influence everybody else, who influenced other people and other people and other people. I think her influence expanded like a huge circle throughout the years. There's no telling what her influence did to touch people in all walks of life.
As you can tell, not only was the camp special, Nana was as well.
Oh, I think she had a big impact. You talk to anybody in the age group of my daughters that went to camp, and they'll tell you that she was such a loving person and caring person to all of them. Ruth was a great lady. You could, she helped more children in this town than we'll ever know about. Because if you couldn't afford to go, you went anyway.
She developed people's natural talent. She saw in people probably what maybe nobody else saw, and encouraged that.
The Plymouth Bay Girl Scout Council sold the land to the town of North Attleboro in 1986. On December 5th, 1999, the town paid tribute to Nana by naming the property the Ruth Rind Recreation Area.
As long as somebody goes to that field, they'll see what it was, and the people that remember it will always talk about it. And as long as the fields are there and the kids are coming, I know Ruth would be really happy that it's still working out nice.
Nana passed away on August 22, 2002, at the age of 103. Shady pines, the camp of all my dreams, always in my memory it seems, down by Abbott runs.